Hello, Steve Mills here, and it's great to be here talking to you today about LinkedIn. LinkedIn, I think, is one of the most sort of underrated, underutilized marketing platforms on the planet right now. Currently, as I speak, there are over 600 million members. That's growing at a rate of 2 new members every second, and the use of LinkedIn is actually increasing to so much that it's actually over 800% usage. And so what that means is that people, years ago when I used to do training on LinkedIn, people used to say, well, I'm on there, but I don't really do very much, Steve. I don't really, use it. And now they're sort of saying, well, I'm on there and I'm not really winning any business and I don't really understand it fully. And so people's attitude towards it, I think, has changed. And that's a really interesting, thing that people are now seeing the value in it. But still don't really fully understand it. And I think that comes down to it's almost like a fact of life that, in the modern world where we've got all this software and different products around. And the truth of the matter is that I think with all this stuff that people don't know what they don't know. You take anything, take something as it's been around as long as, I don't know, spreadsheets or PowerPoint or even Word. I use spreadsheets, and if you ask me, do you know how to use spreadsheets, Steve? And I say, yeah, of course I do. Yeah. Been using them 20 years now. And then you watch me use a spreadsheet, and what actually I'm doing, you just go, Steve, why are you doing that? If you press this button over here, it does it all for you. And I go, oh, do you know, I've been doing that for 20 years and it's taken me an hour a day and I can press a button and it automatically does it. Oh, that's really depressing, and B, it's fantastic because I now know how to do it. And so it is with LinkedIn. People don't know the button to press, don't know what to do to really grow their business. And one thing I will tell you about LinkedIn is if you know how to use it, it's a fantastic tool for growing your business. My number one client in terms of how much money they've won, came on my workshop. They gave me, whatever it was, £150, I think it was, and made £42 million return on investment. Another client, literally yesterday, got a new lead on LinkedIn, and he actually phoned this client up and had a conversation with him, and turns out they're a global director of a massive corporate all over the world, employing thousands of people, and they're looking for my client to do some sales training with all those people. And it could be worth, well, we don't really know, but let's say it's worth 50, 100 grand, something like that one lead. And I've got many, many, many examples of people making 100, 200, 300,000 a year. And we, as a small business, we make over 100,000 pounds per year from winning business on LinkedIn. Now, I say that not to impress you. For some people, that'd be nothing. If you're a massive organization, then, that's a drop in the ocean. And if I was a massive business, we, instead of making 100,000, we probably make, I don't know, 4 million or something like that, so it's all relative to the size of your business. But if you're even a startup, you just started out on LinkedIn and you've just started your business, you've got a few hundred contacts. If you worked at it, you could easily make, let's say, 30, 40, 50,000 over the next 12 months without any problem at all. And I'm going to, if I may, just give you an overview of my system. This is a system that I run on LinkedIn. It's taken me many, many years to develop. It's just six six things, six steps, so it won't take too long. But it's a system that I've used to basically help my clients, to help myself to win business. And it's something that I teach on my workshops on LinkedIn. So just to clarify exactly what that means that I run open workshops. So people from individual businesses can come along to a day's workshop. You can book one place on it, or as many places as you would like, and attend the workshop. The second thing I do is I go into businesses and I run a one-day in-house training course on how to use LinkedIn. The third thing I do is we've taken that day's workshop and turned it into an online training course. So instead of going somewhere and having to sit down in a room for a day, which for some people is either too far to travel or is not practicable, you can sign up to the online training and do the training when you want, as often as you want. You can go look at it again. And you can train your team in how to use LinkedIn to grow your business. And lastly, what happens with some people is they just decide, you know what, I just can't be bothered getting the training. It's not for me. I've not got time. Typically, they either don't want to do it, they don't know how to do it, or they don't have the time to do it, in which case you can outsource that work to us. So all that said, let me tell you about my system. The first thing we look at, remember, 6 steps, 6 units. The first thing we look at is, I call it looking good. You've got to look good, creating a great first impression. As the old saying goes, you never get a second chance to create a great first impression. And so it is on LinkedIn. So you've got to make sure that you look good on LinkedIn. And to do that, we've got a variety of different things to do. Second step then, there's no point looking good if nobody's looking. And so we've got to grow that database. I call this section crowd development. How many people are you connected to? For me, it's at the moment, it's about just less than 7,500. But I want to grow it so that all my market are in there. All the people, if I sold a service to hotels in Hampshire, and I know that there are 10,000 hotels in Hampshire, I definitely want to get connected to all those hotels so I can market to my full marketplace. So, that is a real big one. You also need to think about groups. You're allowed to join 100 groups now, and groups are a great way of getting messages out to the masses. So once you join a group, that gives you access to the members of those groups. So I'm, for example, in a group called the Consultants Network. So if I want to market myself to consultants, there are just over 400,000 members in that group, and I could take this video and add it to that group. And some of them, only a small proportion, but perhaps a few hundred people, or maybe even a couple of thousand people, are going to watch this video and maybe come on my workshop. So that's the idea behind that. So next phase, there's no point connecting to loads and loads of people that you don't communicate with. And this is where, to be honest, 90%, probably, actually it's probably about 60% of the mistake is made. People, connect to each other and they never communicate. It's like going, it's like going up to somebody at the Chamber of Commerce going, "Oh, hi, my name's Steve Mills. What's yours?" "Fred Bloggs." "Oh, nice to meet you, Fred. Bye then." And then walking off somewhere else. You wouldn't do that. So people connect to each other on LinkedIn and then never speak to each other again. And, you don't need me to tell you that's not a very good idea. But it happens virtually with everybody. I really don't understand it. I don't get why you would connect to somebody and then not communicate with them. It just doesn't make sense to me, but that happens all the time. Next step, and this is an important one again, I call it traffic. Step 4, getting people to go from LinkedIn to my website. That's basically what it's about. How do I get people to go from LinkedIn to my website? Again, it's really easy. You post stuff, post information. Thought you might find this of interest. Go here. You know, if you're like that, then this might be of interest. So if you're a business owner looking to grow their business, then this LinkedIn workshop might be of value to you. Why don't you take a look? Or, you know, if you're a business owner looking to grow, watch this video. Whatever it is for you, you know, you need to think about what you are going to do and say in order to grow your business and in order to get traffic from LinkedIn into your website. Now, just to give you some perspective here, we as a small business get over 1,000 people per month from LinkedIn into our website. Now, if you looked at the, you know, cost of doing, I don't know, Google pay-per-click advertising, and we targeted in a campaign business owners, and those business owners cost us £2.50 per click. To get 1,000 people to our website would cost £2.5 grand. Does that make sense? And yet I can get 1,000 business owners from LinkedIn for free, by the way. This is not the paid advertising. This is free from LinkedIn into our website. And, you know, why wouldn't you want to do that? So then step five is the paid services on LinkedIn. So that is, should you be a member, a premium member? And I talk about that on the workshop. Are you going to use the advertising, the display advertising down the right-hand side or across the top? What about the sponsored content? That's where you take an advert and embed it into the homepage of a given target market. What about the in-mailing, where you can say to LinkedIn, I want you to send out 50 or 100 emails every day to these people, and these people could be accountants who employ at least 20 people, who are based in London and who have a job title of managing director or partner. So they're the only people on the planet that get your emails, and they get them even though you don't know their email address. And you know, that's a really cool opportunity. And then step 6, and this is arguably the most important step. Well, it actually is the most important step, I think, but it needs to be done in conjunction with the first 5. I call turning all this into sales, because you've got a great first impression. You've built your list. You're communicating, you're building relationships, you're getting people to know, like, and trust you. You've got a load of people to visit your website, you're advertising to them. And so there's a strong awareness of you and your brand and your company and what you do, but you got to turn it into business. And essentially, you know, again, you know, there's many things that you need to do in order to do that. But if I was to give you just one on this video, it'd be this. See this little device here, yeah? Pick up the phone and call people, you know, speak to people. The best way of winning business, I think, is being in front of them, meet people. And part of the way of doing that is to get in front of them by picking up the phone and calling people and go, oh, hi, Steve Mills here. We just connected on LinkedIn. Thought I'd give you a call. Tell me, how are you? How's business? And off I go. I just have a conversation. Sometimes say, oh, hi, Steve Mills here. We're just connected on LinkedIn. Don't know about you, but often, you know, contacts on LinkedIn, they don't really go any further. So I just thought I'd be proactive, give you a call and just say, hi, do you have 2 minutes? And 99% of people go, yeah, sure, yeah. So tell me all about your business. What do you do? How do you do that? How's it working? Blah, 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 blah. Yeah. So that's the system. And if you want to learn it, go to my website, which is www.stevemills.co. Click on the training page, and then your options are, as I say, you can book an in-house workshop. I'll come to your business and run this workshop for you and your team. You can find the date of my next workshop and book one place or two or three or four or whatever you want, and you can come to me and we'll do the workshop then. Or you can click on the online training section and go and sign up and do the training from the comfort of your own home or office 24/7. And you can relearn it several times. And by the way, the beauty about that program is I'm constantly keeping it up to date. So when something changes on LinkedIn, I re-record one of the videos, because there are about 30 or 40 videos in there. So I re-record the video and keep it up to date. So, and you get access to it for life. Yeah, it's not like a monthly subscription or anything like that. You pay the fee, which is £99 plus VAT at the moment, although by the time you watch this video it might have gone up, but it's £99 and you get life membership. It's a no-brainer. You know, I always believe in marketing is when you invest in something, the first question to ask is not really how much does it cost, it's more about will I get my money back. So the question you should be asking yourself right now is, if you sign up for the online training, will you get £99 worth of business from LinkedIn? And that, you know, to be quite frankly, is just a joke. You know, if you were really rubbish at it and did nothing, you could do that. And, you know, your return on investment, as I said, if you're a startup, this is your first day on LinkedIn, this is your first day in business, and you could easily win at least 30 grand on LinkedIn over the next 12 months. That's if you got no profile, no contacts, no nothing. And if you're up from that, then that could be 10 times more. That's about it. So I hope you found that of interest, and I hope to meet you somewhere along the way. Thank you ever so much for listening, and I wish you every success in business. Thank you.